On the eve of a high-profile visit to China, Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched a fresh wave of criticism against the West, condemning what he called discriminatory and politically motivated sanctions that have left Russia's economy teetering on the brink of recession. In a written interview with China's official Xinhua news agency, published just hours before his arrival, Putin underscored the strengthening alliance between Moscow and Beijing, two nations increasingly aligned against Western influence. He said both Russia and China stand firmly opposed to what he described as unjust trade restrictions imposed by Western governments. This visit, which the Kremlin has labelled unprecedented in both scope and timing, comes at a pivotal moment for Putin, both strategically and symbolically. As Russia's war in Ukraine drags into its third year and its economy shows signs of strain, Moscow is increasingly leaning on Beijing for economic, diplomatic, and geopolitical lifelines. Putin will spend 4 days in China, from Sunday through Wednesday. His visit begins in the northern port city of Tianjin, where he'll attend a 2-day summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO. This security-focused bloc, established in 2001 by China, Russia, and several Central Asian states, has grown in recent years to include 10 permanent members, among them Iran and India. The SCO is widely seen as a counterweight to Western-led alliances, and this year's summit is expected to focus on energy cooperation, regional security, and shared resistance to Western dominance in global affairs. Following the summit, Putin will travel to Beijing for high-level talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders are expected to deepen what both sides have described as a no-limits partnership, a phrase that has gained increasing significance since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The leaders will also appear side by side at a massive military parade in Beijing, commemorating the end of World War II and Japan's formal surrender. The symbolism is unmistakable. Just months earlier, Xi stood shoulder to shoulder with Putin on Moscow's Red Square during Russia's own Victory Day parade, marking the 80th anniversary of the Soviet Union's triumph over Nazi Germany. These reciprocal visits and shared military pageantry send a clear message to the world. The Moscow-Beijing axis is growing stronger, more synchronized, and more defiant. This marks Xi Jinping's 11th meeting with Vladimir Putin since becoming China's president over a decade ago, an unusually frequent level of engagement in modern diplomacy. Both leaders have emphasized their shared vision of a multipolar world, one where Western-led institutions like NATO and the European Union no longer dominate global decision-making. Russia, hammered by multiple rounds of US and EU sanctions, is now more economically dependent on China than ever before. Since 2022, China has emerged as Russia's top trading partner, purchasing discounted Russian oil and supplying Moscow with consumer goods, electronics, and vehicles that have helped cushion the blow of Western isolation. In 2024 alone, bilateral trade between the two countries surged to a record $245 billion. Putin emphasized in his Xinhua interview that Russia and China are not only maintaining their economic cooperation, but intensifying it. He spoke of joint efforts in energy, manufacturing, agriculture, and defense technology. Quoting directly, he said, "Economic cooperation, trade, and industrial collaboration between our countries are advancing across multiple areas. During my upcoming visit, we will certainly discuss further prospects for mutually beneficial cooperation and new steps to intensify it."